Look at this beautiful view. What's up, dude?
Welcome to my backyard.
Welcome to the Watchtower series, dude. Hey, what's up, you guys? This is SentryProductions, and welcome to another episode of the Watchtower series. If you're new here, this is just a deep dive into my toy photography. I walk you through my setups, the lighting, posing, any ideas I had in mind, and pretty much anything to do with my toy photography. Starting off this episode strong with the Incredible Hulk here. I just recently picked up this Maximum Series Hulk figure, and I really like it. I think it's really cool. I know a lot of people online were bummed that they felt like it wasn't too much of an upgrade compared to some of the other Hulks we've gotten, but I think it gives you just enough that it's now the best Hulk figure that we've gotten. But I can also kind of see the other side where it's like, yeah, they could have, given us some new molded parts. The main selling point for this figure is what you're able to do with the arms. You're able to move the arms on their butterfly joint a lot further with the hands closer together, so you can do the thunderclap with the Hulk. And this torso section is made of rubber. I'm sure most of you guys that are watching this that are already up to speed with what's going on with this Hulk, but just for the few that didn't know that, it just allows you to kind of move his arms forward, and they can basically clap together, and you can create some extra effects. The other things that I really like about this figure is I like the green. This reminds me of like an early 2000s Hulk, like Ang Lee type of Hulk, that kind of era in the comics and on film and everything, which I really liked. I really liked the green. I like the purple on this. I like that it comes with toe articulation. I like what you can do with the arms and shoulders, and I like this rubber piece. I think it actually works really well, and I honestly think that this is the new best Hulk figure available, but I do think that they could also up the ante a little bit in the future when they decide to just retool and make a brand new Hulk. I think that is their best bet as far as appeasing the community. But other than my feelings on this Hulk figure, I'm also displaying him here, taking a shot with another figure that I am just absolutely in love with, and that's this Marvel Legends Hulkbuster figure. I just think it's one of the best Marvel Legends that they've ever put out, and I knew the minute I got this guy that I wanted to have him squaring off with the Hulkbuster here. So as you can see, we got Hulk tearing off Iron Man's helmet to the Hulkbuster, and then underneath you have him in another Iron Man suit. Now, of course, when you get this Hulkbuster figure, you know that this head doesn't come with it. This is off the 80th year's Iron Man. So I kind of wanted to throw in a couple effects here to kind of, sell this a little bit better. When he rips off the helmet, we've got some like electricity surrounding the head on both the helmet and on the base here, just to kind of show that, his equipment's malfunctioning, because obviously the Hulk is tearing it up. I also think including the Iron Man head in this was like a cool little touch, because we all know that when he gets in the Hulkbuster suit, he's also wearing an Iron Man armor. It's just like an extra added layer of protection. So just like the little details that, when you start stacking those together, they start adding up, and stuff like that's important. So what we got going on for this shot, we've got the effects, which is the electricity. We've got the little details, which is like the screaming head, the Iron Man head. We've got the cutout right here, which is just physically attached using blue tack right here onto his shoulder. And another cool thing about putting this cutout right here is it actually hides some of this like bunching up of the rubber on the torso piece right here. So I kind of like that. It kind of hid a little bit of the that articulation bunching up, or that rubber bunching up, because that was kind of bothering me. Like when you move his arms together, it is kind of strange, like how the rubber piece kind of melts together. So here's a better view of what's going on with this shot. We have just like lots of miscellaneous rubble pieces in the foreground here. There's some like foam elements that I made. I mean, this isn't really that hard. You just basically take the insulation foam that you can get at like Home Depot or Lowe's, cut it up, paint it, and yeah, and you know, put a wash of black or two over it, and now you got some just random little diorama rubble piece shit. I don't know. We've got some Tamashii Nations rocks. Actually, I don't even think those are Tamashii Nations. I think that's just some like off-brand shit from Amazon. These are from the Sentinel 2-pack. These are those pieces of concrete, which looks really cool right here. I don't know, it just kind of worked really well. Like, what the idea is, like, he's crashing through this. Got some pieces from Myron Studios back here. Got the sky background. We've got a light back here. This is my secret weapon. I use this all the time to light my backdrops. Giving your backdrop like an underglow from the backside, it's just, especially sky backdrops, oh god, it just makes it chef's kiss. It just makes it look so cool. Posing on this figure was a little bit difficult. You know, I got basically Hulk straddling the Hulkbuster, and what this figure wanted to keep doing is he wanted to like move forward, so kind of had to angle his feet in a way that they were kind of holding him up. And then in case you're trying to figure out how I did this, the Hulk hand, you just blue tack. You just see blue tack right on there. It's holding up the effect pieces. It's in the palm of his hand. And, you know, when you're doing posing like this and you're trying to, you know, make everything look as realistic as you can, you gotta make... So the Hulk's hand is basically like this. And I want to make sure that the two fingers that are in the frame are actually making contact with the Hulkbuster helmet. Because if the helmet, let's say this, my hand right here is the helmet, and it's not touching the two fingers, it just wouldn't look right. It's like a little detail that you really need to pay attention to. When you take as many shots as I have, I'm not trying to brag, I take way more shots than you, but I've been through thousands of setups at this point. And you notice all these little details, and once you kind of get all your ducks in a row, and you notice all these details, then your shot really comes together. You start seeing gaps where there's like empty space. You start noticing things like, oh, his eyes aren't looking at the character. You notice things like his fingers aren't touching the Hulkbuster. You notice things like, oh, this figure's foot isn't touching the ground. Stuff like that, it comes from experience. And once you really take a lot of shots, you start noticing shit like that. And when you notice shit like that, it makes your pictures better. So yeah, and then we got some random rubble shit. We got some little terrarium rock things right here. And this is another knockoff brand, Tamashii Nations impact effect. And I'm using my camera and I'm doing a Dutch angle. So when you just saw it, but my camera's tilted like this. So lighting real quick, I'll show you guys. Got boom, boom, two lights lighting the background, side lighting, rim lighting, frontal lighting. That's the whole shot right there, man. So I'm really enjoying this Maximum Hulk. A little Avengers kick. I think this is going to be an Avengers episode, so I think probably going to take a Captain America shot next, and then probably an Iron Man shot that I've had in the pipeline for a while that I've been wanting to get to. So stick around. We've got some more toy photography on the way. Let's check out this shot though. Alright, so I'm on the table with a little Iron Man shot. I got the full Armory back here. In case you're wondering what these are that all the Iron Man are standing in, these are the Disney Toy Box Hall of Armor playset from several years ago, I think 2020, maybe early 2021. They went on clearance at one point because no one was really buying them. I think a few people were kind of keeping an eye on them and making sure that they're the correct scale, and a few people had picked them up, but they kind of went under the radar for a long time. And then I picked picked up 15 of these. There's like 15 separate pods, you can interchange them. I picked them 15 of them up for I think like $60, which was 3 sets. And now if you try looking up these sets, first off, they're really hard to find. Like, they don't pop up all the time. It was like a little kid's toy. And they're really expensive, but man, I'm really happy I picked these up when I did. Doing a little James Rhodes shot here. The Bronze Age Iron Man, the 80s run of Iron Man. It's gotta be some of my favorite artwork, one of my favorite runs in the whole continuity of comics. I just really, really loved that era. It's probably why Iron Man's one of my favorite characters. And another character that was just absolutely fantastic those years was James Rhodes. This is kind of inspired by Iron Man 169. This is when Tony is so like blackout drunk that James Rhodes, before he ever became War Machine, I mean like over 100 issues before he even donned the War Machine outfit, he was here donning Iron Man and pretending to be Iron Man in the public while Tony was kind of getting his shit together. So this is inspired by that. I don't want to keep rambling too far on, but this always makes for a really easy background, really cool. I got a cutout on this shot. I want to kind of focus on cutouts, more specifically speech bubbles in the next few shots here. And I was able to put this cutout together through like a photo editor, and I was able to add all the text and everything. Downloaded this Iron Man font, and it says James Rhodes Iron Man, what could go wrong? It's just very reminiscent of that era. Very cool little cutout I was able to do there. You can see it's attached to a stand. You can move it around right here. I've kind of got that stand. I'm going to remove this in post, but I got the stand kind of strategically set up right there. I don't want the stand to be like right there, because when I go to remove the stand, it probably wouldn't. I probably could still do it, but I don't want anything obstructing any of the Iron Man figures. I want to kind of sneak it into a spot where it blends in a little bit. That way when I go to remove it in Lightroom, there's a really fancy like AI removal tool. It'll just get rid of it, no problem at all. It's just so epic. This is the Secret Wars Iron Man figure. It wasn't really too different from the AI Tony version, but this one is pinless. And this is slowly becoming one of my favorite new armors. That's one of the funnest things about Marvel Legends, more specifically collecting Iron Man, is they give you so many goddamn armors because this is such a good selling character. Everybody loves Iron Man, dude. So they just keep giving us either updated versions of armors we've already had or new armors. As you can see, all these ones up top that you can't really see in frame, but more modern armors up there. But that's the cool thing, is like with Iron Man, if you get something that's kind of similar to, like, I don't know, this Mark II back here, or is that Mark III? I'm not sure. You can kind of just chalk it up to, oh, it's just an upgraded suit for the Armory, and I got a little Armory set up in my Detolf, and I love it. I think it's probably my favorite display I have in my entire collection. It's just my personal collection of all my Marvel Legends Iron Man figures. So awesome. Alright, so here's the whole setup right here. You can see how these pods kind of stack on top of each other. I've been having a lot of fun playing with these Iron Man armors. I don't really take too many shots of this back here. I always make a joke where, like, I take one shot a year of like this setup, like with the armors in the back, because I don't want to flood my page with like the same picture over and over again. But every time I do, it's always fun just pulling out all the armors and putting them on there. It's so much fun. I'm trying to have like a little vibe in my room right now. I'm watching, coincidentally, War Machine. I'm watching the animated series from '94. God damn, I love this show. It's not the greatest writing, and it's got mullet Tony Stark, but god damn it, I love it. It's still awesome. Mandarin, Whiplash, all those dudes. It's just such a fun show. But yeah, so this is the setup. We got some lights. I have two big overhead lights right here that are shining a lot of light on the armors. I want to make sure everything's kind of nicely lit, but I want to focus my lighting on James Rhodes here and the cutout. Got to make sure you light that cutout too. So I want to focus on them, and by angling my lights focusing on that, it'll in turn kind of light everything behind it as well. This area right here between Silver Centurion and Mark III, or I don't know what, or Model 3, they're not even marks. Marks from the movies. The model is what they use in the comics. Anyways, this area was kind of dark. I put that light there. That's why I have the rim light above. It's lighting everything. The cutout, the head, all that stuff. I want to just, one thing that I was really honing in on specifically for this shot is I didn't want to have any glares in James Rhodes' head, on his hair more specifically, because I thought it would look kind of strange. His hair would look very shiny to us. So that's this whole shot. Got some miscellaneous War Machine Easter egg stuff like right here. That's just kind of in the foreground of the shot because it was just a little empty for me right there. But yeah, these are the missiles from his rocket launcher, and then we got the minigun right there. But man, I really like this shot. I always love pulling out this this little set and playing with all my armors. And now I just pulled out my my animated series Marvel Legends Iron Man because I'm watching the show, and goddamn, that's a cool figure too. So let's check out this shot, man. Alright, so I had already pulled out the Hall of Armor, and there was a shot that I had wanted to do a while back, and I figured while I got this this armor, Hull armor out, I might as well get to it. And I wanted to shoot with the what is this? The Marvel Legends Retro Iron Man from the animated series Iron Man. I've always thought this was a really cool recolor, redeco of the modular Iron Man, which is coincidentally right here. And I always wanted to kind of play around with the perspective of these guys coming out of the Hall of Armor, because I believe in the show he has like a big opening at the very top of the Hall of Armor and he can like fly out of it, so I kind of wanted to get that feel. This is just me kind of playing around with this angle. I'm not gonna lie, this isn't like my favorite shot I've taken. It's a really tough angle to shoot, and I feel like there's a lot of just blank space over here, but you have to remember, like, looking at this setup, this is not on the ground, this is just on my table, so it's gonna be hard for me to place stuff like on here, like sticky tacked. I mean, this is just kind of being pushed up against the wall, so just wanted to play with the idea. I had all the Iron Man already out and the other armors, and I just wanted to see. So I'm not gonna like jump too far into this, but there's a flight stand that's underneath the Hall of Armor playset. This is the flooring I'm using. This is from the Ubiquitous diorama. It just works great as like for any like tech kind of buildings, you know, space stuff. It just works pretty well. And then it just got miscellaneous armors on the side. I kind of have to shoot kind of low. On the figure itself, I have a little bit of polyester to kind of simulate like smoke coming from his boots, trying to make sure that the face is really in focus and like the arms and everything, and then everything else is kind of out of focus, which is easier said than done. But overall, it's not a bad shot. It's just, I don't know, there's not really much I can do with this set. This set, I don't know if you guys know this, but whenever you pick it up, it will just break apart. I mean, it's made of plastic. It's fallen a bunch of times. They don't stay together very well. So the fact that I have both these sides propped up is causing some issues with stuff to like misalign and everything. I know I'm just throwing a bunch of excuses out there, but I tell you guys, I've said it before, not every shot works out. But you know, I did manage to get a shot, and I'll kind of play around with it in editing and see if I can get something cooler out of it. But it's an interesting angle. It's just kind of tough, but let's check it out. Alright, so you know, we started off this episode with the Maximum Series Hulk, which is a great figure, and I want to take more pictures of, but I think I got some bigger dial pieces I got to pull out for that. I want to use the shipping containers and stuff, but you know, if you keep watching the Watchtower series, I'm sure you'll see me down the line take another shot of it. And then I was playing around with the Secret Wars Iron Man figure, which is an awesome, you know, earlier version of Iron Man, which I love. I was using the retro Prowler head for the James Rhodes head on that Iron Man, in case you guys were wondering. And now I'm playing with the Secret Wars Captain America figure. I have shot this figure before, but I've never shown you guys in one of my Watchtower episodes since I've been kind of starting them back up. This is currently my favorite Captain America. But of course, I just pre-ordered yesterday the 2-pack that comes with the Venom from Marvel vs. Capcom, and that I think is going to be my definitive Captain America, because I've been saying for years, like, this would be a perfect figure, this and the 20th anniversary Captain America, is if they had butterfly joints. But I think because of the scales on the figure, they've never really approached it with the butterfly joint in mind. But now that we're actually going to get those with the Marvel vs. Capcom 2-pack version, I think it's going to be awesome, and it's a darker blue Captain America. It's just going to be so awesome. But still, this figure is awesome. I love this thing. I was originally going to take this shot with this right here. Oh shit, one of my lights just went out. I was going to take it with the cutout, but there was just too many light stands. I didn't want to do that, but just sticky tacked on there right there. And what's cool about this shot is I'm using the Marvel Select Captain America shield, which I think around the community, for people that have gotten this Marvel Select Captain America, we've all kind of just in agreed that this is the best Captain America shield for a 1/12 Captain America figure. It just functions so well. It's got the straps. This part of the shield actually rotates, so like you can always have the star angled up, or you can just kind of manipulate it a little bit better. And so I'm using that shield, and then I've got the Punisher grenade effect sticky tacked actually to the top of that Captain America shield, and then I'm using one of my Ulanzi garage kit lights to shine right on that explosion, and it's creating this really cool effect where it's really lighting this up and kind of lighting this area up. So I think it's kind of important that I'm trying to hit him with the warm light, but at the same time I'm trying to keep the scene like cool in a way, because this is a nighttime shot. But it looks really cool right there. Of course, I have a flight stand that is propping Captain America up. That way I can get his feet really like in that running pose right there. The only thing that's kind of annoying is his belt looks a little unnatural, but there's just not really a good way for me to make it look normal, unfortunately. Of course, I'm doing a little forest kind of scene with this diorama. Alright, so you can kind of see the whole setup right here with some of the lights I was talking about. This light right here, that's the one that went out, in case you're curious. But yeah, this is it's a pretty straightforward setup. Like it's kind of built to feel open. This light right here, this is the Ulanzi garage kit, and it's got this attachment on it that lets me kind of direct the light just at that explosion. And god damn, it looks cool. It just works really well. I have other miscellaneous lights kind of hidden behind trees and stuff, because even though I want the background to feel dark, I still want to hit it with some light just so you can kind of see the trees back there. I still want you to see all the nice little details, but there's a light right here and all that. And then this background right here is just black felt. Black felt's awesome because you know, if you're using poster board and you had light shining at the poster board, it'll make a glare, but black felt kind of absorbs all that light, so even when you have lights kind of pointing at it, it still doesn't really show any reflections or glares or anything, unless you have like an insane amount of light on it. But this is just something that in post I can go on and darken up and it'll be cool. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole shot. I got this little light, that's kind of the light, this tree and a little bit of the Captain America. I'm going to try to kind of push the shadows, make the shadows a little bit more prominent when I'm editing the shot. But yeah, it's my little Secret Wars Captain America shot. I love this figure, it's so much fun. And I like that it's a little bit of a lighter blue, and we got a couple different heads to play around with, and yeah, it's just a great figure. So thanks you guys for watching the Watchtower series, Really appreciate you guys. If you got any questions, any feedback, you know, leave it in a comment below. I read all the comments. And yeah, you know, check out my Instagram if you got a second. You can see the finished shots there, as well as more behind the scenes little videos and reels and stuff like that, and it's pretty cool. And yeah, I just appreciate you guys. So yeah, let's check out this shot. Thanks for watching.